Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. You were taught how to walk, how to speak, how to behave. You were trained to say please and thank you, taught how to brush your teeth and follow the rules. But let me ask you something no one ever asked growing up. Who taught you how to think about money? Not how to count it or spend it, but how to think about it, feel about it, attract it, and manage it. If you're like most people, the answer is no one. And yet, the way you think about money might be the single most powerful influence on the quality of your life. That's the very question T. Harv Eker, author of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, asked himself years ago. You see, Eker wasn't always a multimillionaire. In fact, he was broke, struggling, starting business after business and failing miserably. He didn't lack hustle. He wasn't lazy. He tried everything, but something invisible kept holding him back. Until one day, he realized that success wasn't just about what he was doing. It was about how he was thinking. It wasn't his work ethic that needed changing. It was his money blueprint. Now, what exactly is a money blueprint? It's the mental programming you carry deep in your subconscious mind about money. How much you deserve, what money means, whether you see it as good or bad, scarce or abundant. It's the result of every money conversation you overheard as a kid, every financial struggle you witnessed growing up, every belief passed down to you from parents, teachers, and society. You didn't choose your blueprint, but it's been running your financial life, silently and powerfully, in the background. Eker discovered that the root cause of his money problems wasn't bad luck or bad timing. It was a bad blueprint. So he went to work rewiring it. He studied how rich people think, how they behave, how they relate to money, and he started copying those patterns. Within just 2.5 years, he went from broke to millionaire. Not by magic, not by accident, but by transforming his inner world to match the results he wanted in the outer world. And that's exactly what this video is going to help you do. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 17 powerful mindset shifts that T. Harv Eker calls the wealth files. Essential differences between how rich people and poor people think. These aren't vague motivational quotes or feel-good fluff. They're concrete mental patterns that determine how much money you attract, keep, and grow. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to magnetize wealth, while others constantly struggle, this will explain it, but let me be clear about something up front. If you struggled with money, it's not your fault. You were programmed with beliefs you didn't choose. You were conditioned by experiences you didn't control. And the truth is, most people were taught to think like the poor and middle class, not like the wealthy. But here's the good news. Your blueprint can be changed. You can upgrade your mental software. You can train your mind to think like a millionaire. And when you do, your external results will begin to shift like magic. This isn't a get-rich-quick video. It's a get-rich-right video. Because once your mind is trained for wealth, money becomes a reflection of your internal growth. It flows to you more naturally and more abundantly when your mindset is aligned. So if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if you feel like you're capable of more but keep hitting invisible ceilings, if you're ready to take control of your financial destiny once and for all, then stay with me. Because these next 17 mindset shifts can change your relationship with money forever. Let's reprogram the way you think about wealth. Starting now. Part 1. Your money blueprint, the root of all financial results. Your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world. The results you get in life, especially when it comes to money, are not random. They're rooted in something much deeper, your money blueprint. Think of it like the financial thermostat in your subconscious mind. No matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in, or how many side hustles you start, you'll always end up with the results that match your internal blueprint. If your blueprint is set to just enough to get by, that's exactly what you'll experience, again and again. So what exactly is this blueprint? It's your set of beliefs, habits, and emotional patterns around money, installed in you long before you had any say in the matter. And like all blueprints, it determines the shape and structure of your financial life. According to T. Harv Eker, your blueprint is primarily formed during childhood through 3 key sources: verbal programming, modeling, and specific incidents. First, there's verbal programming. These are the money messages you constantly heard growing up. Maybe you were told, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, or we can't afford that. You didn't just hear those statements, you absorbed them. They became part of your belief system. Over time, they shaped how you view money and what you think is possible for yourself. Then, there's modeling. As kids, we model what we see. If your parents argued about money, struggled to pay bills, or handled finances recklessly, chances are you picked up those same behaviors without even realizing it. If you saw your family always working hard but never getting ahead, you might believe deep down that no matter how hard you work, wealth just isn't in the cards for you. And finally, specific incidents. These are powerful emotional experiences that created lasting money beliefs. For instance, if you once saw your parents lose their home, you might associate money with fear and instability. If someone you admired lost everything due to a failed investment, you might now believe that all financial risk leads to pain. One of the most common, hearing things like, "We can't afford that." A child who constantly hears that may grow up thinking that money is always scarce, or worse, that they don't deserve abundance. Take a simple example. Imagine a young boy hears over and over, "Money is the root of all evil." What kind of blueprint does that create? As he grows, he might unconsciously sabotage financial success because deep down he doesn't want to be seen as evil. Or consider a girl raised in a home where rich people were constantly criticized. As an adult, even if she earns a good income, she might feel guilt or shame around it and unknowingly push it away. Here's the crucial part. Your money blueprint creates your results through a predictable cycle, what Eker calls the 4-part loop. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Your thoughts create your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions produce your results. If your thoughts are rooted in scarcity, fear, or limitation, that's what your actions will reflect, and your financial results will mirror that. But here's the empowering truth. Just like a physical blueprint can be changed, so can your financial one. The first step is awareness. Start listening to the money beliefs you repeat in your head. Catch yourself when you say things like, "I'll never be rich," or "I'm just not good with money." Don't judge. Just observe. The next step is understanding. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Who did I learn it from? Is it even true? Often, you'll realize that the people who passed down these beliefs weren't wealthy themselves, which means their programming wasn't necessarily right or helpful. Finally, the key step is reconditioning. This is where you consciously install new, empowering beliefs. Start saying things like, "I'm a money magnet," "I deserve to be wealthy," and "money flows to me easily and abundantly." At first, these statements may feel unnatural. That's okay. You're not lying to yourself. You're retraining your subconscious to accept a new financial identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your blueprint. And until you change the way you think about money, you'll keep getting the same results, no matter how hard you work. So ask yourself, what's one money belief I inherited that no longer serves me? And what will I choose to believe instead? This is where transformation begins. Not in your wallet, but in your mind. Let's keep going and dig into the first 3 wealth files that will start reshaping your mindset from the inside out. Part 2. Rich versus poor thinking. The ultimate inner battle. Before we dive into the 17 wealth files, let's pause and look at the battlefield where everything begins. The mind. Every financial result, every success story, every wealthy life starts in one place. Your thoughts. The greatest battle isn't happening in your bank account, it's happening in your head. And this is where the real war between wealth and poverty is won or lost, through mindset. T. Harv Eker makes this clear. Wealthy people don't just do things differently. They think differently. They see the world through a different lens. Their beliefs, attitudes, and reactions to challenges aren't the same as those who struggle financially. And it's not just about knowledge or intelligence. It's about the internal programming they live by. Eker calls these wealth files, patterns of thought that separate rich minds from poor ones. But before we unpack all 17, let's zoom in on 5 powerful mindset shifts that highlight just how radically different rich thinking is from poor thinking. These aren't minor tweaks. They're full-blown rewrites of how you view yourself, the world, and money. If you absorb even just these 5 differences and start living by them, you'll feel a dramatic shift in your results. 1. Rich people believe, I create my life. Poor people believe, life happens to me. This is one of the most fundamental mindset shifts of all. Rich thinkers operate from a place of power and personal responsibility. They believe they are the creators of their reality. When something goes wrong financially, they don't point fingers. They look in the mirror. They ask, what did I do to create this? And what can I do to change it? Poor thinkers, on the other hand, live in a world of blame and victimhood. If they're broke, it's the government's fault, the economy's fault, their boss's fault, or their parents' fault. They don't realize that this mindset strips them of all control and therefore all power to change their circumstances. Here's the truth. As long as you believe someone else is responsible for your financial results, you'll stay stuck. But once you accept that you create your life, you also claim the power to create something better. 2. Rich people play to win. Poor people play not to lose. This one hits hard. Rich thinkers go all in. They're bold, they take calculated risks, and they aim high. Their mindset is, how can I maximize this opportunity? How can I win big? They don't focus on just surviving. They focus on thriving. Poor thinkers play defense. Their main goal is safety and comfort. They'll avoid risk at all costs, even if it means missing out on big rewards. They say things like, I just want enough to get by, or as long as I can pay the bills, I'm okay. Think about that for a moment. If your goal is simply not to lose, what's the best outcome you can hope for? To not lose. That's it. But if you play to win, the possibilities expand. You start making bold moves, and bold moves are often what lead to big breakthroughs. 3. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. This difference is so clear in the goals people set. Wealthy thinkers aim for impact, scale, and abundance. They ask, how can I help millions? Not, how can I help just one? They don't just want to earn a living, they want to build legacies. Poor thinkers often operate from fear and limitation. They shrink their dreams to fit their current circumstances, instead of expanding their mindset to fit their vision. They'll say, I could never do that, or I'm just a he fill in the blank. Here's a hard truth. The universe responds to boldness. When you think big, you expand your capacity. You challenge yourself, you rise, and even if you don't hit the exact target, you end up way ahead of where you would have landed with small thinking. 4. Rich people admire other successful people. Poor people resent them. This is one of the sneakiest mindset traps out there. Wealthy thinkers celebrate success in others because they see it as proof that success is possible. When they see someone driving a nice car or building a thriving business, they think, good for them. If they can do it, so can I. Poor thinkers, however, often feel threatened or bitter when they see success. They'll say things like, they probably cheated to get there, or it must be nice to be born rich. Instead of using success as inspiration, they use it as fuel for resentment. But here's the thing. What you resent, you repel. You can't attract wealth while secretly resenting those who have it. If you want to join the ranks of the successful, you need to celebrate them first. 5. Rich people associate with other successful people. Poor people associate with pessimists. This might be the most practical shift of all. Wealthy thinkers are intentional about who they spend time with. They surround themselves with high achievers, forward thinkers, and people who challenge them to grow. They know that their environment shapes their mindset, and their mindset shapes their results. Poor thinkers often cling to comfort zones. They hang around people who complain, who play small, and who reinforce their limitations. Not because they're bad people, but because it feels safe and familiar. But if you're always the smartest or most ambitious person in your circle is holding you back. Jim Rohn said it best. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to level up financially, start spending time with people who already think, live, and breathe the next level. Let's bring all this home with a story. Meet Sam. Sam grew up in a modest home where money was always tight. He was taught to work hard, not take risks, and never trust rich people. His parents often said things like, people like us don't get rich, and just be grateful you have a job. Sam followed the script. He got a safe job, avoided risk, and lived paycheck to paycheck. But deep down, he knew he was meant for more. One day, he stumbled across a copy of Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Something clicked. He realized his beliefs were keeping him stuck. He started journaling his money thoughts. He noticed how often he blamed the government, his boss, or the economy. So he made a decision. He'd start taking responsibility. He began to think like a rich person. He started saying things like, I create my life, and I deserve abundance. He joined entrepreneur groups, distanced himself from constant complainers, and learned to admire success instead of judging it. Today, Sam isn't just earning more. He's living differently. He's more confident, more proactive, and more in control. Not because he won the lottery, but because he rewired his thinking. So let me ask you, which of these 5 mindset shifts do you need the most? Which one will you commit to mastering starting today? Because the truth is, money doesn't change first. You do. The outside only changes when the inside shifts. And this right here is the beginning of that change. Let's now dive into the first wealth file and begin unlocking the millionaire mind, one file at a time. Part 3. Wealth Files 1 to 3. The foundation of financial transformation. When you begin the journey to rewire your mind for wealth, you have to start by laying a solid foundation. Without this, every strategy, skill, or business idea will eventually collapse under the weight of your own limiting beliefs. That's why the first 3 wealth files, T. Harv Eker, shares in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind are so powerful. They're not just surface-level ideas. They're root-level shifts that determine how you show up in the world financially. These are the mental cornerstones of financial transformation. Let's explore them one by one, understand what they mean, why they matter, how to live them, and most importantly, how they can unlock the next level of your life. Wealth file. 1. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. This one is bold. It draws a clear line between two types of people: those who take full ownership of their lives and those who surrender to circumstance. Rich people operate from a belief that they are the primary force behind their results. They don't sit back and wait for luck, or blame the economy, or say, "I can't help it." Instead, they live with the conviction that their choices, habits, thoughts, and actions shape their future. Poor people, on the other hand, often feel powerless. They default to victimhood. Life is something that happens to them, not through them. They say things like, "I can't catch a break," or "It's just how things are." But this mindset creates a dangerous loop. If you don't believe you're in control, you won't take control. And if you don't take control, your situation never changes. Real-life example. Think of someone who grew up in a tough neighborhood, where crime and poverty were the norm. Most people in that environment internalize a belief that they're stuck, that this is just their fate. But every now and then, someone rises above. Maybe they start a business, become a community leader, or create a new life for their family. What's the difference? Not talent, not luck, belief. They believe they can shape their lives, and they act on that belief. So here's your challenge. Where in your life are you acting like a victim? Where are you blaming others, making excuses, or waiting for someone to save you? Flip the script. Write this down and say it out loud every day. I create my life. Repeat it until your subconscious believes it. That's when real change begins. Wealth file. 2. Rich people play to win. Poor people play not to lose. This is about intention, your internal compass, and the level of risk you're willing to embrace. Rich people approach life with a go big or go home attitude. They're not reckless, but they're bold. They aim to win. They know there's no glory in playing it safe forever. So they stretch, they invest, they ask for the promotion, they build the business. They put themselves in positions where success is possible, even if failure is also a risk. Poor people, however, operate out of fear. They play defense instead of offense. Their mindset is, "Let me just survive," not "let me thrive." They don't try to win. They try to avoid losing. And ironically, this mentality often leads to stagnation, missed opportunities, and regret. Let me tell you a story. James had a business idea, a small tech tool for freelancers. He talked about it for years but never launched. Why? He was afraid it wouldn't work. He feared wasting money and being judged. He kept saying, "I'm just being cautious." But in truth, he was playing not to lose. One day, a friend of his, with a similar idea, launched and succeeded. James watched as his friend took that risk and started generating 5 figures a month. That hit James hard. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about who he became by not playing to win. You can avoid failure, sure. But if you never play to win, you'll also avoid growth, breakthroughs, and purpose. Here's how you apply this. Start making decisions that are aligned with bold vision, not small fear. Ask yourself, if I was playing to win, what would I do differently right now? Then do it, even if it's scary. Wealth file 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. This one slices deep. There's a huge difference between wanting and committing. Everyone says they want to be rich. Who wouldn't? But wanting is passive. It's wishful thinking. It sounds like, I'd love to be rich someday. It's full of excuses. If only I had more time. If only I knew how. If only I had better luck. Wanting is easy because it requires nothing of you. Commitment, though, that's where things change. Rich people don't just want wealth. They decide to create it. They declare it. They get clear on what wealth means to them. And they commit to doing whatever it takes, ethically, intelligently, consistently, to make it real. No backup plan. No dabbling. No maybe someday. They burn the boats. Eckhart says it best. If you are not fully, totally, and truly committed to creating wealth, chances are you won't. Commitment means sacrifice. It means investing time, learning new skills, cutting off distractions, and sometimes doing the hard thing when the easy path is right in front of you. Here's a real-world contrast. Imagine two people, Angela and Kevin. Angela says she wants to be financially free. She reads a few articles, watches motivational videos, and dreams about owning real estate. But she never takes action. Kevin, on the other hand, commits. He sets a 5-year goal, enrolls in courses, finds a mentor, and starts saving aggressively. He buys his first rental property after 1 year. Angela is still watching videos. So ask yourself honestly, are you just interested, or are you committed? There's a big difference. If you're truly committed to becoming wealthy, you'll stop making excuses and start making decisions. You'll stop waiting for the right time and start taking steps now, no matter how small. To help shift into commitment, write down this declaration. I am fully committed to creating wealth. I will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. Make it your creed. These 3 wealth files aren't just tips. They are the bedrock of a new way of being. They challenge you to take responsibility, take risks, and take massive action. They force you to leave behind the old identity of someone who hopes for wealth and step into the mindset of someone who builds it. Remember this. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you're committed to. And that commitment starts in your mind, today. So which of these 3 foundations hit you the hardest? Which belief are you ready to rewire? Once you shift these mental gears, the other wealth files will make more sense. And more importantly, they'll start to stick. Because you'll no longer be someone who just learns about wealth. You'll be someone who lives it. Let's keep going. The transformation is only just beginning. Part 4. Wealth Files 4 to 6. Big Thinking and Opportunity Focus. One of the most profound lessons in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is this. Wealthy people don't just have more money. They have a bigger mindset. They think differently, and that difference shows up in the way they see the world, the way they act, and the way they attract success. In this part, we explore Wealth Files 4 to 6, each of which centers around how the rich train their minds to think expansively, seize opportunities, and appreciate success in others. These mindset shifts may sound simple at first glance, but when applied with conviction, they radically change your financial trajectory. Wealth File 4. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I just want enough to get by? Or, I don't need much, just a simple life? While these phrases may sound humble, they often stem from fear, scarcity, or a deep-rooted belief that we're not worthy of more. T. Harv Eker challenges this small thinking head-on. He says rich people give themselves permission to think big. Why? Because thinking big expands your vision, your impact, and your potential. When you think small, your decisions are limited. You take fewer risks. You avoid challenges. You settle for a job that pays just enough. But when you think big, something shifts. Your mind starts searching for larger opportunities. You surround yourself with ambitious people. You begin acting as someone who deserves more. The universe has a funny way of responding to bold declarations. Take Sarah, for example. She was a freelance designer with a few local clients. For years, she kept her prices low, thinking people wouldn't pay more. One day, she attended a business conference and heard a speaker say, "If you keep playing small, you'll always struggle." It hit her like lightning. She rebranded, raised her rates, pitched to international clients, and started a design agency. Within 2 years, she 10x'd her income. Nothing changed, except the size of her thinking. So here's your challenge. In what area of your life are you thinking small? Is it your income goals, your impact, your business ideas? Stretch it. Double your goal. Ask yourself, what would this look like if I wasn't afraid? Remember, thinking big isn't arrogance, it's alignment with your potential. Wealth File 5. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. This mindset shift is like flipping a lens. Where poor people see problems, risks, and reasons to wait, rich people see potential, hidden value, and the upside. It's not that the rich are blind to challenges. They're just trained to look through them to find opportunities. This is a massive distinction. If your mind is conditioned to look for obstacles, you'll always find them. You'll say things like, "The market is too competitive," "I don't have enough capital," or "It's not the right time." But if you focus on opportunities, you'll say, "How can I make this work? What resources can I leverage? Who can help me get started?" Consider how this played out during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thousands of businesses shut down. No doubt a tough time. But many people also built million-dollar brands during that period. How? They saw opportunity where others saw disaster. While others pulled back, they leaned in. They started delivery services, created online courses, opened e-commerce shops, or offered remote solutions. It wasn't luck. It was focus. They trained themselves to find the window of opportunity, even when the door was shut. Here's how you apply this practically. Whenever you face a challenge, write down 3 opportunities hidden within it. If your income drops, could it be the perfect time to build your dream business? If your job gets repetitive, is that a nudge to learn a new skill? Train your brain like a radar, always scanning for the gold inside the grit. And here's a truth bomb. The people who succeed the most aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who see beyond failure. Focus on opportunity. And opportunity will start focusing on you. Wealth File 6. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent them. This is one of the most emotionally loaded wealth files, and one of the most transformative. Have you ever caught yourself judging someone for their success? Maybe you've thought, "They're probably lucky," or "They must have done something shady to get that rich." If so, you're not alone. Many of us are taught, consciously or subconsciously, to distrust wealth, to view rich people as greedy, selfish, or corrupt. But here's the trap. If you resent what you want, you'll never allow yourself to have it. You cannot attract what you secretly despise. If you view wealth as something bad, your subconscious mind will keep you away from it, even if your conscious mind says you want it. Rich people admire success in others. They study it, celebrate it, and use it as inspiration. When they see someone driving a luxury car, they don't roll their eyes. They say, "Good for them. If they can do it, so can I." They know that resentment closes doors. Admiration opens them. Let's take a story from real life. Daniel was a middle-class employee who constantly criticized the rich, especially entrepreneurs. He'd say things like, "These people don't know what struggle is," or "They don't pay enough taxes." Then one day, he attended a seminar where a speaker said, "If you hate wealth, you'll never have it." That day, something shifted. Daniel began studying wealthy people, not to judge them, but to learn. He read biographies, listened to their interviews, and started modeling their habits. Within 5 years, he launched his own tech platform and became a millionaire. His secret? He replaced resentment with curiosity and admiration. Here's your challenge. Pay attention to your internal dialogue when you see someone successful. Do you cheer them on, or do you criticize them? If it's the latter, dig deeper. Where did that belief come from? Then flip it. Every time you see success, say, "That's possible for me too." Let's reflect. These 3 wealth files may seem subtle, but they hold massive power. Thinking big pushes you beyond the limits of fear. Focusing on opportunity helps you navigate through any challenge. And admiring success dissolves the internal resistance that keeps you stuck. So ask yourself honestly, which of these beliefs do you resist the most? And why? That resistance is a clue. It's the very area that needs healing, rewiring, and expansion. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into more wealth files, each one designed to reprogram your subconscious and turn you into a magnet for abundance. But remember this: the size of your success will rarely exceed the size of your thinking. So stretch, shift, and stand tall. You're not here to play small. You're here to rise. Part 5. Wealth Files 7 to 9. Influence, Promotion, and Responsibility. One of the most overlooked secrets of wealth is the company you keep, the way you promote yourself, and how you handle life's inevitable challenges. These are the principles behind Wealth Files 7 through 9 in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And they dig deep into what really separates the wealthy from those who struggle. If you've ever felt stuck, overlooked, or overwhelmed, this section will be a game changer. We'll unpack why associating with positive people, embracing self-promotion, and taking responsibility for your problems can unlock a level of success you may have thought was out of reach. Let's start with Wealth File 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. This might sound obvious, but many people underestimate how profoundly their social circle impacts their mindset, motivation, and financial outcomes. The truth is, your environment acts as a mirror and a magnifier for your beliefs. Think about it. If you spend your time with people who complain, blame external circumstances, and doubt their own abilities, guess what? Those attitudes become contagious. You'll find your own enthusiasm draining, your confidence shrinking, and your ideas shrinking to fit within the group's limits. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with driven, positive, and successful individuals, you absorb their mindset, habits, and energy. Their successes light a fire under you. Their beliefs expand your thinking. Their stories become proof that more is possible. I remember the story of James, a young man working a dead-end job and feeling stuck in his finances. Most of his friends were pessimistic about money, always talking about why it's impossible to get ahead. James started to feel the same way. But one day, he decided to join a local entrepreneur meetup. At first, he felt out of place. Everyone was ambitious, focused, and optimistic. But over time, their mindset rubbed off on him. He began setting bigger goals, took action on new ideas, and started a small side business. Within a year, he was making more money than he ever dreamed, all because he changed the company he kept. So here's a practical tip. Audit your social circle. Who do you spend the most time with? Are they inspiring you to grow or holding you back? This doesn't mean cutting off old friends, but it does mean consciously investing more time with people who lift you higher. It's said that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Moving on to wealth. File 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think negatively about selling and self-promotion. This file tackles a huge block for many: the fear and discomfort around promoting oneself. From a young age, many of us are taught that bragging is bad, or you shouldn't make others feel small by talking about your success. While humility is a virtue, when it comes to wealth creation, downplaying your value is a recipe for stagnation. Think of it this way: no one will promote you better than you promote yourself. Whether you're an entrepreneur selling a product, an employee pitching an idea, or an artist sharing your work, your ability to communicate your value confidently determines your success. If you shy away from this, you're essentially hiding your potential from the world. Take Maria, for instance. She was an incredibly talented graphic designer, but would never raise her rates or put herself forward for big clients. She worried people would think she was too pushy or selfish. After reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, she realized this mindset was holding her back. She started practicing how to talk about her work with pride and clarity. She created a portfolio, reached out to businesses confidently, and charged what she was worth. The result? Within months, her income doubled, and her confidence soared. It's normal to feel fear around self-promotion. The "what if they say no?" or "what if I sound arrogant?" But here's the truth. When you approach promotion with authenticity and a genuine desire to serve, it stops being selling and starts being sharing. You're simply letting others know how you can add value to their lives or businesses. The more comfortable you become with this, the more doors will open. Try this practical exercise. Write down 3 things you're proud of in your work or skills. Then practice sharing them with a friend or in front of a mirror. Notice how it feels to own your value. The next time an opportunity arises, step forward and communicate clearly what you bring to the table. Now, let's tackle Wealth File. 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. This file is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make because it's about resilience and responsibility. Problems are inevitable in life. Everyone faces them. The difference is how you respond. When problems feel bigger than you, it's easy to get overwhelmed, blame others, or fall into despair. You might say, "This problem is too big for me," or "I can't catch a break." But rich people understand that problems are part of the game. They don't run from them or get paralyzed. Instead, they grow bigger, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so they can handle the challenges that come their way. Consider the story of Robert, a business owner whose company was hit hard by an economic downturn. Many would have folded under the pressure. But Robert saw the crisis as an invitation to become stronger. He invested time in learning new skills, sought advice from mentors, and restructured his business model. His mindset was, "I am bigger than this challenge." Within a few years, his business not only recovered, but flourished. Growth often comes from discomfort. When you face a problem, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? What lessons does this teach me? How can I use this problem as a stepping stone? This shift from victimhood to empowerment is at the core of lasting wealth. Many people shy away from responsibility because it feels heavy. But here's a secret. True freedom and wealth come when you take full responsibility for your life, your finances, and your reactions. That means no more blaming the economy, your boss, or your upbringing. It means owning your power, to create change. Here's your challenge. Next time you face a problem, instead of shrinking or blaming, declare, I am bigger than this. Take one step towards solving it, no matter how small. Notice how your confidence grows with each step. Let's bring this all together. Wealth file. 7 teaches you to be intentional about your associations because your environment shapes your mind. Wealth file 8 pushes you to embrace self-promotion as a vital skill that opens doors to abundance. And Wealth file 9 challenges you to rise above problems by becoming bigger than any obstacle you face. These principles aren't just theoretical. They're deeply practical and proven by countless success stories. The fears around promotion, responsibility, and growth are real, but they don't have to control you. When you consciously rewire your mind to align with these truths, you build a foundation of resilience, influence, and unstoppable momentum. So reflect for a moment. Are you surrounding yourself with people who elevate you? Are you willing to step into the spotlight and share your value? When challenges come, do you rise to meet them or let them defeat you? Which of these areas feels most uncomfortable to you? And how can you take one small step today to shift? Remember, wealth isn't just about money. It's about becoming the person who can handle and create wealth. And that person is already inside you, waiting to emerge. In the next part, we'll explore even more wealth files, each one designed to strengthen your millionaire mindset and bring you closer to the financial life you deserve. But for now, take these lessons to heart. Practice them daily, and watch as your world begins to change, one mindset shift at a time. Part 6. Wealth Files 10 to 12. Income, Value, and Duality. When it comes to building wealth, many people get stuck in old patterns that limit their earning potential and mindset. Wealth Files 10 through 12 reveal profound truths about how rich people think differently about money, value, and opportunities. These principles challenge some of the most common mental blocks around receiving income, negotiating worth, and breaking free from limiting either-or thinking. Understanding and applying these can open new doors to financial freedom and abundance. Wealth File 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are not. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Being a good receiver means being open and willing to accept wealth, compliments, help, and opportunities when they come your way. Many people unintentionally block wealth by feeling unworthy or uncomfortable when money flows toward them. Think about it. If you constantly give but have trouble receiving, whether that's accepting money, praise, or support, you create an imbalance. This imbalance can stop you from growing financially. Poor people often struggle with receiving because of deep-rooted beliefs like, I don't deserve this, or if I accept help, I'm weak. These beliefs act like a dam, holding back the natural flow of abundance. I remember a story about Lisa, who was a hard-working freelancer. She always undercharged her clients because she felt guilty asking for more. She would negotiate down her fees even when she knew she deserved better. After reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Lisa realized her resistance to receiving money was limiting her growth. She started practicing accepting compliments graciously and asking for fair payment confidently. Over time, her income increased, and she felt more worthy of success. Here's a practical tip. Practice being a better receiver in everyday life. When someone pays you a compliment, say thank you without deflecting. When you're offered a gift or help, accept it graciously. Notice how this openness creates space for more abundance in your life. Wealth File 11. Rich people choose to get paid based on results, not time. Poor people get paid based on time. This is a crucial mindset shift from exchanging hours for money toward creating value that justifies higher rewards. When you get paid based on time, like an hourly wage, your income has a ceiling because there are only so many hours in a day. Rich people understand this limitation and focus on delivering results. They negotiate contracts, commissions, or profit shares based on the value they bring, not the time they spend. This shift is about seeing yourself as a creator of wealth, not just a worker. It encourages innovation, efficiency, and entrepreneurship. Take James, who we met earlier. At first, he worked as a consultant, charging by the hour. After some trial and error, he started charging flat fees for specific results, like helping a client increase sales by 20%. This approach allowed him to raise his fees significantly and scale his business. Instead of trading time for money, James created systems that delivered consistent outcomes. If you're used to working by the hour, try to identify ways to get paid based on the value or impact you provide. Could you offer packages instead of hourly rates? Could you negotiate bonuses or commissions? This mindset helps you step into a higher level of financial growth. Wealth file. 12. Rich people think both and. Poor people think either or. This principle is about expanding your mental framework from limited choices to unlimited possibilities. Most people fall into the trap of either-or thinking, believing they must choose between two options, and that one excludes the other. For example, people might say, I can either have a good job or be an entrepreneur, or I have to choose between saving money or enjoying life. This kind of thinking creates unnecessary constraints and missed opportunities. Rich people, however, think in terms of both and. They believe they can have multiple streams of income, enjoy life while building wealth, and create win-win situations. Consider the story of Sarah, who was torn between staying in her stable corporate job or starting her own online business. Instead of choosing one and giving up the other, Sarah adopted a both-and mindset. She kept her job while working on her business in the evenings. Over time, her business grew enough to replace her salary, and she didn't sacrifice financial security for her dreams. This mindset applies broadly. Instead of limiting yourself to rigid choices, ask, how can I have both? Or, what's the creative solution that allows me to expand rather than limit? This shift encourages innovation, flexibility, and abundance. To bring these ideas into your life, reflect on these questions. How open are you to receiving money and success? Do you believe you deserve more, or do you resist wealth? Are you currently paid based on time or results? How could you shift to a value-based mindset? And finally, where do you find yourself stuck in either-or thinking? How can you reframe those limitations into both and possibilities? By embracing these three wealth files, you're stepping into a mindset that welcomes abundance, values your contributions fairly, and expands your horizons beyond scarcity. These shifts don't just improve your finances. They transform how you approach opportunities and challenges in every area of life. Remember, wealth creation is as much a mental game as it is a financial one. The richer your mindset, the richer your reality becomes. Take these lessons seriously, practice them daily, and watch as your income streams grow, your confidence builds, and your life expands beyond what you thought possible. Next, we'll dive deeper into even more wealth files that will continue to refine your millionaire mindset and equip you with the tools to create lasting success. But for now, focus on receiving with grace, valuing your results, and embracing the power of both, and your wealth journey is accelerating. And you're exactly where you need to be. Part 7. Wealth Files. 13 to 14. wealth metrics and management. When it comes to mastering money, knowing what to focus on is half the battle. Many people obsess over their income, paycheck, or bank balance at any given moment. But these numbers don't tell the full story of financial health. This is where Wealth Files 13 and 14 come in. Rich people focus on their net worth, and they manage their money well. Understanding and applying these two principles can transform not just how much money you make, but how much you keep, grow, and leverage to create lasting wealth. Wealth File 13. Rich people focus on their net worth. Simply put, your net worth is the sum of everything you own, your assets, minus everything you owe, your liabilities. It's the real measure of financial success because it reflects your actual financial position, not just how much money flows in or out each month. Imagine two people. Person A earns $10,000 a month but spends $9,500, accumulating debt and owning few assets. Person B earns $5,000 a month, saves diligently, invests wisely, and has growing assets. Over time, Person B's net worth rises steadily, while Person A's financial situation remains unstable or even worsens. Many who chase income alone miss this crucial truth. They can make a lot, but have little to show for it. Tracking your net worth regularly keeps you grounded in reality. It shifts your mindset from short-term spending to long-term wealth building. When you see your net worth grow, it fuels motivation to keep making smart financial decisions. If it shrinks, it signals a need to adjust habits or spending. Wealth File 14. Rich people manage their money well. Income alone doesn't create wealth. How you handle your money does. This is why T. Harv Eker emphasizes the importance of good money management skills. Without control and organization, even large incomes can slip through your fingers. But when you manage your money properly, every dollar works for you and contributes to your wealth. To help with this, Eker introduces a simple yet powerful system called the JARS money system. It's a practical framework for dividing your income into different jars or accounts, each with a specific purpose. The goal is to automate and simplify your money management, reduce stress, and create balance. Here's a breakdown of the jars. 1. Necessities jar, 55%. For bills, food, housing, and essentials. 2. Financial freedom jar, 10%. For investing and building wealth. 3. Education jar, 10%. For learning new skills, books, courses. 4. Long-term savings jar, 10%. For major future expenses like retirement or emergencies. 5. Play jar, 10%. For fun, entertainment, and treating yourself. 6. Give jar, 5%. For charity, donations, or helping others. This system ensures your money is balanced between survival, growth, learning, enjoyment, and giving. 5 crucial areas for a wealthy life. It prevents overspending in one area while starving others, creating a holistic approach to your finances. Many people hesitate to track their money because it feels overwhelming or uncomfortable. But starting small makes a huge difference. For example, commit to tracking your net worth monthly using a simple spreadsheet or an app. Set up automatic transfers to your JARS each payday so the process happens without effort. You'll feel more in control and less anxious about money. Let me share the story of David, a mid-level manager who struggled with living paycheck to paycheck despite earning a decent salary. When David applied the JAR system, he discovered he was spending too much on impulsive purchases and not saving at all. He started allocating his income into jars and tracking his net worth every month. Within a year, David paid off his credit card debt, built an emergency fund, and began investing. His net worth grew steadily, and he felt empowered instead of stressed. So how can you apply these two wealth files today? First, calculate your net worth. List your assets like savings, investments, property, and subtract liabilities like loans and credit card debt. Track this monthly or quarterly. Use this number as your real financial progress bar, not just your bank balance. Second, implement a version of the JARS system that fits your income and lifestyle. Even if you start with just 3 jars, necessities, savings, and play, it's a step toward managing money proactively. Automate transfers where possible, so your system runs smoothly, without constant effort. Finally, commit to learning more about money management. Whether through books, podcasts, or courses, investing in your financial education pays the highest dividends over time. Before we move on, ask yourself, are you focused on your net worth or just your paycheck? How well do you currently manage your money? Which part of the JARS system feels most challenging or exciting to start? Reflect on these to identify your first steps toward financial mastery. By shifting your focus from income alone to net worth and adopting a simple money management system, you lay a strong foundation for lasting wealth. This mindset keeps you accountable, balanced, and moving steadily toward financial freedom. As you progress, you'll feel more confident, less stressed, and better prepared for life's ups and downs. Remember, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how you manage and grow what you have. Master these principles and your money will work for you, not the other way around. Your wealth journey just got a major boost. Next up, we'll explore more wealth files that dig deeper into how to think and act like the rich, transforming your mindset and habits to align with true abundance. But for now, focus on tracking your real wealth and managing your money like a millionaire. You're building the roots of a financial empire. Part 8. Wealth Files 15 to 17. Growth, Fear, and Self-Investment. One of the most powerful shifts you can make on your path to wealth is moving beyond just earning money to making your money work hard for you. This is Wealth File 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Simply put, it's about leveraging your resources, investments, and assets to generate more income and build lasting wealth. Passive income streams that keep flowing even when you're not actively working. Why does this matter? Because true financial freedom isn't about how much you can earn with your time alone. It's about creating systems where money grows for you automatically. Whether through stocks, real estate, businesses, or other investments, putting your money to work means it multiplies exponentially over time, freeing you from the paycheck to paycheck cycle and opening doors to bigger opportunities. Take the example of Susan, a school teacher who always thought she had a fixed salary and limited means. One day, despite her fears and doubts, she decided to invest a small portion of her savings into a diversified stock portfolio. It wasn't easy. The fear of losing money was real and intense, but Susan educated herself, started small, and kept learning. Over time, her investments grew, dividends paid her monthly, and she felt a newfound sense of control and freedom. Susan's money began working for her, not the other way around. This brings us naturally to Wealth File 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Fear is the single greatest obstacle to financial success and personal growth. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. These can freeze us in place or push us into a comfort zone that stunts our wealth potential. But the rich learn to master fear, not eliminate it. They act boldly even when scared, understanding that risk is part of growth. It's important to understand that fear is not the absence of courage. Courage is acting in spite of fear. Every successful entrepreneur, investor, or millionaire you admire has faced fear, uncertainty, and doubt. What sets them apart is their willingness to move forward, regardless. Consider Michael, who wanted to start his own business but was paralyzed by fear of failure. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, he committed to action, learning from mistakes and adjusting as he went. Over time, Michael's business flourished, not because fear vanished, but because he refused to let it control his decisions. His story is a powerful reminder. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. Finally, Wealth File 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. The journey to wealth is ongoing. No one ever arrives and stops evolving. To stay ahead, you must embrace lifelong learning, personal development, and self-investment. This could mean reading books, attending seminars, finding mentors, or developing new skills. The more you grow, the more value you create. And value is the true currency of wealth. Think of growth like compound interest for your mind and skills. The knowledge, habits, and insights you gain today multiply over time, opening new doors and opportunities. On the flip side, stagnation leads to decline and missed chances. One striking example is Sarah, who started as a receptionist but dreamed bigger. She committed to learning about finance, sales, and leadership in her spare time. Over years, she climbed the corporate ladder, started her own company, and now mentors others on wealth creation. Sarah's dedication to growth transformed her life entirely. So how can you apply these 3 wealth files today? Start by asking yourself, are you making your money work hard for you, or just trading time for income? If not, begin exploring investment options that fit your situation and risk tolerance. Educate yourself and start small. The key is consistency, not perfection. Next, identify where fear might be holding you back. What's one action you've been avoiding because it feels risky or uncomfortable? Challenge yourself to take that step despite fear. Remember, courage builds with action. Finally, commit to continuous learning. Set a goal to read a book, listen to a podcast, or attend a workshop every month. Seek out mentors or join communities of like-minded individuals who inspire growth. Reflect. What fear do you need to face today? How can you invest in yourself right now? What new skill or knowledge will you pursue this month? Mastering these principles is about more than just money. It's about emotional mastery, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of improvement. The path of growth is challenging but rewarding. When your money works hard for you, when you act despite fear, and when you commit to lifelong learning, you don't just build wealth, you build a life of freedom, purpose, and fulfillment. You've now uncovered the final keys in T. Harv Eker's blueprint to a millionaire mind. These last wealth files tie together mindset, action, and continuous evolution, giving you the tools to transform your financial destiny and create lasting success. Remember, fear will always be part of the journey, but it doesn't have to stop you. Your money can become a powerful ally, multiplying your impact and opportunities. And your commitment to growth will propel you toward new heights you never imagined. Now it's your turn. Embrace these wealth files, take bold steps, keep learning, and watch how your millionaire mind reshapes your reality, one decision at a time. Part 9. Applying the wealth files, daily wealth habits. Now that you've explored all 17 wealth files, the core mindset shifts that T. Harv Eker teaches as the foundation for building true wealth. The question is, how do you bring this powerful knowledge into your daily life? How do you make it real, practical, and transformational beyond just ideas? The answer lies in creating daily wealth habits that reinforce these principles until they become part of who you are. Wealth is not a one-time event. It's the result of consistent thoughts, beliefs, and actions repeated over time. So let's break down how to turn the wealth files into a daily, weekly, and monthly action plan that rewires your money blueprint for success. First, start every day with morning declarations. This is a simple but incredibly effective habit where you state aloud or write down key affirmations based on the wealth files. For example, I create my life. I play to win. I'm committed to being rich. And I act in spite of fear. By beginning your day with these empowering truths, you set your mental and emotional state to attract wealth and opportunity. It's like programming your subconscious mind with success before the day even begins. This practice also helps counteract any negative money messages you might have absorbed over the years. Next, establish weekly rituals to deepen your commitment. This could be a review session where you journal about your progress applying the wealth files, celebrate wins, no matter how small, and identify areas where you struggled or fell back into old thinking. You might set a weekly goal focused on 1 or 2 specific wealth files, like, this week I will focus on thinking big and playing to win. The ritual acts as a checkpoint to keep you accountable and aware, preventing you from slipping into scarcity mindset or inaction. Another powerful strategy is to find a wealth accountability partner. This is someone who shares your financial growth goals or mindset journey. Someone you can check in with regularly to discuss your challenges, breakthroughs, and lessons. Accountability partners keep you honest and motivated. When you verbalize your goals and actions to another person, your commitment becomes stronger. You also gain fresh perspectives and encouragement when times get tough. Maybe it's a friend, a mentor, or a member of a personal development group. Choose someone positive who embodies at least some of the wealth mindset principles you want to adopt. An often overlooked but vital piece of the puzzle is upgrading your environment. This means surrounding yourself with people, information, and influences that support your millionaire mindset. For example, if you hang around pessimists who complain about money, that mindset will rub off on you. Instead, seek out successful, growth-oriented people who inspire you and model the habits you want to develop. Also, consider the media you consume: books, podcasts, videos, and courses that elevate your thinking and knowledge about money and success. Clean up your social media feeds and daily inputs so they reinforce, rather than sabotage, your wealth goals. The cumulative power of these daily habits cannot be overstated. They create a feedback loop that rewires your money blueprint, shifting your thoughts, feelings, and actions toward prosperity. The great news: you don't have to master all 17 wealth files at once. The key is focused, consistent effort. Here's a challenge to get you started. Pick any 5 wealth files that resonate most with you right now. Commit to living by those 5 files every day for the next 30 days. Use morning declarations, weekly reviews, your accountability partner, and environment upgrades focused specifically on those files. Journal your progress. Notice how your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors shift. Watch how doors open and opportunities begin to appear. For example, if you choose "I create my life," rich people think big. Rich people act in spite of fear. Rich people manage their money well. And rich people constantly learn and grow. Focus your energy on affirming those beliefs, setting big goals, taking bold actions despite discomfort, tracking your expenses and savings, and investing time in education. See what happens when you double down on these powerful mindsets for a full month. Remember, transformation happens in the small daily choices repeated over time. Wealth is a mindset cultivated by habits. Thoughts turned into words, words into actions, and actions into results. You have everything you need right now to take that leap. To wrap up, your millionaire mind is like a garden. The wealth files are the seeds. Daily wealth habits are the watering, sunlight, and care that allow those seeds to grow into towering trees of abundance. Tend to your garden every day, and soon you'll be living the life you've always dreamed of. Now, it's time to take action. Pick your 5 wealth files. Declare them every morning. Find your accountability partner. Upgrade your environment. Track your progress. And most importantly, believe in your power to change your financial destiny. You're not just learning a new way to think about money. You're becoming the architect of your wealth, your future, and your freedom. Start today. Your millionaire mind awaits. Reflect for a moment. Which 5 wealth files will you commit to for the next 30 days? How will you hold yourself accountable? What's the first action step you will take tomorrow morning to begin this transformation? Your journey to wealth is not a dream. It's a decision. Make it now. Finally, at the heart of everything we've discussed lies one powerful truth. Your income can only grow to the extent you do. No amount of strategies, tricks, or external circumstances can substitute for the internal transformation of your mindset. The real wealth begins inside you, in how you think, how you believe, and how you act. This is why T. Harv Eker's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is not just a book about money. It's a book about personal evolution. If you've ever felt stuck financially, it's not because you're unworthy, lazy, or doomed to struggle. You're stuck because you were wired a certain way, conditioned by your past, your upbringing, and the beliefs you absorbed without even realizing it. But here's the most liberating part. Wiring can change. Just like your body can grow stronger with exercise, your mind can be rewired with intentional practice and belief shifts. You have the power to break free from limiting patterns and design a new financial destiny for yourself. Think of this journey as unlearning old stories and relearning truths that empower you. You're not alone in this. Every millionaire, every successful person you admire, once stood where you stand today, at the crossroads of choice. They decided to change their inner blueprint, commit fully to growth, and embrace the wealth files. That's what set them apart. And that's exactly what you can do. But knowledge alone is not enough. The biggest difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise to abundance is action. Don't just watch this video and nod along. Apply what you've learned. Declare your new truths out loud. Practice these habits daily. That's how the magic happens, through persistent, consistent effort over time. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you found value in these insights, show some love by hitting that like button. It helps others discover this message and join the journey. Share in the comments below. Which wealth file resonated with you the most? What mindset shift are you ready to commit to? Your story might just inspire someone else to take that first step. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more life-changing wisdom and practical guides that empower you to live your best, richest life. Remember, wealth is not about money alone. It's about freedom, choice, and the power to live on your own terms. Your millionaire mind is waiting for you to claim it. The time to act is now. You have what it takes, you are worthy. And your financial transformation starts here. Let's grow rich, inside and out, together.